Hi everyone, Michelle Mira, spiritual success coach, breatharian healer, modern shaman, and dancer. In this video, I'm going to talk about some new money manifestation techniques that aren't being talked about a lot. And these are secret techniques that I stumbled onto, and I found myself manifesting money and opportunities before I even knew that these techniques were good for this particular use. So at the end of this video, be sure and stay tuned because I'm going to go through exact steps to do this. And if you follow these exactly as I go through them, you can literally be making money tomorrow. And so I'm going to talk about my personal experience with this. The one technique that I feel like is probably the most powerful, I learned this technique to use for healing, and I just accidentally started visualizing abundance and what I wanted, and the next day I manifested thousands of dollars, or an opportunity that would have cost thousands of dollars for me. And I was able to work with a mentor that was just so far out of my league, and I just, my original thought was, there's no way, they're huge, there's no way I'm going to be able to work with them and afford to work with them. And by doing this technique and accidentally visualizing what I wanted, the next day, literally, I got into a course and was able to work with them directly and have worked with them for years. Another time I used one of these techniques, and again, it was sort of accidentally, in the same way that I was using it for one purpose, and ended up visualizing and kind of thinking about what I wanted, and I manifested another training that was over $10,000. Another time manifested a scholarship. Multiple times have worked with this intentionally, and the next day I literally manifested money that there was no way that it was going to come to me by what I was already doing. So money has come to me from sources that I didn't even see, and it was by using these techniques and by using what I'm going to talk about in this video. So briefly, I'll just go over, I have talked about some of these in other videos. The first one I want to talk about is removing money blocks or limitations or beliefs that we have. This is an important step to do because sometimes we can be blocking what's trying to come to us. So we can be doing these really powerful manifestation exercises. Money is coming and then we block it, whether consciously or subconsciously. And so it's really good to be aware when this happens, because you can remove the blocks very quickly if you're aware of it in real time. And I just had one come up yesterday, which was a block to getting too busy. So if you're calling in a lot of money and you're calling in clients, high profile clients, or you're calling in more business, more customers, and then you have this block about getting too busy and not wanting to do that, then you can be stopping it right at the last minute when it's just right there. You can be stopping the flow. And so anywhere that you feel like it's not flowing or you feel stuck, this could just be a limited belief. So, and a lot of these blocks are taught to us or we absorb from birth to the age of 8. We're generally in a theta state or a wide open state, but in that age group up to the age of 8. And so, if you work with children under 8, it's whatever you teach them, they're just absorbing it. They're a sponge and they take it as truth. And this is especially so when we're talking about our parents, because our parents, we see them as God, as this God figure. And so we trust them to give us everything that we need. And so everything they give to us, we take as truth. We take it on. We're like, okay, yeah. All right, so if they're saying money doesn't grow on trees, then we're going to take that as truth. And what we learn is that there is not enough money. If we learned, one of my beliefs around money was that money comes, but you have to work hard for it. Now, I learned this not by my parents directly saying things to me like money doesn't grow on trees or you have to work really hard to get money. I don't remember them ever saying that to me, but what I learned was through their doing. So I would watch my mom working all day and come home at night real, tired, and she was constantly working to the point that she was hurting herself. I also learned that money would come to me if I did all of my chores, because my mom would leave a list for me to do. And I knew when I got through that whole list, and it was usually stuff I really didn't like doing, then I would get money. So I learned that I had to do things I didn't like to do, and I had to work hard doing them, and I had to put off fun in order to do them to get money. So these are all beliefs that I was taught, not by hearing them, but by watching. So those are just some examples. And wherever you feel a block or you feel like money isn't flowing in abundantly, then just take a look at that and go, okay, what is going on here? What do I believe about money? And what are my actions saying? For the longest time, I felt like I had to get jobs that I really hated because I had to do things I didn't want to do to make money. And then what happened was I would make money, but I would have, a car breakdown or some other bill come in, or, so I would actually go backwards in working a job that I hated because I ended up not making any more money than I would have doing something that I really loved. And so these are just some examples to think about that may trigger something in you that you're like, oh yeah, I have that too. The other thing is that we generally have a money blueprint, or I think other people have referred to it as a financial thermostat. And what this means is that if you think about the amount of money that you have in the bank, and you think about, do you have 6 figures in the bank? Do you have 3 figures? Do you generally have hundreds of dollars? Do you have thousands of dollars? And I'm talking about the majority of the time, do you sometimes have just double digits in there, and that's normal? Are you surprised when you might have thousands of dollars in there, but it doesn't last? So you want to look at what you have in there now, and then what you normally have in there, like what you had in there a year ago, what you had in there a couple of years ago. And you can kind of get a good idea of what your money blueprint is, or your financial average, I would say. With your money blueprint, this is going to be something that you always come back to. So say, when people win the lottery and they all of a sudden they have millions, and then they just burn through it, and pretty soon they're back to what they had before. So, I heard a story about this guy that was usually broke. He won or inherited millions of dollars, blew through it in a year or so, and then now he's working at a grocery store again, struggling. So that is an example of going back to your blueprint. And I've had opportunities that come up, or businesses that I've started, and they start making a lot of money, and then eventually the money goes back to my blueprint. So along with the money blocks, we need to constantly work on our blueprint. How do we do this? We can work with, is when you set your goal. A good way to do it is if your goal is to make $200 this week, you'll want to add a 0 to whatever your goal is. Whatever your goal is that you want to make, you want to add a 0 to it. So if you have a goal to make 500, add a 0 to it, 5,000, and you bump that up because you're going to overshoot. And then the saying, if you shoot for the stars, you'll hit the moon. It's this. it's not going to hurt you to overshoot in your goals, but it will stretch your money blueprint. And then if you end up not making that higher goal, you're going to end up being somewhere in the middle normally, and then your money blueprint has expanded. The other way that I work with this is through wealth mindset building, or wealth mindset tools and downloads. So these are, usually what we're thinking is what we are going to create. What we're thinking is going to become our reality. And so I use affirmations and hypnosis, and just journaling, and really just working with the thoughts that we're habitually thinking can enhance our wealth mindset. This will build our money blueprint to a more expanded number, basically. I do this at night. I'll put on audios and I'll listen to hypnosis, and then I'll listen to affirmations. And I have a giveaway of money mindset affirmations, and I'll put the link below so you can get that free download. And the other thing along with this wealth mindset, the downloads, you want to have, these are tools, you want to have strategic steps, a strategic plan of reverse engineering your goal. So reverse engineering, how can I take steps every day to reach this $5,000 goal? And when you do that, then you'll start, and I work more in depth with my clients in the coaching to actually develop an exact step-by-step plan for this. So, you want to find a way that you're able to make more than you make, say, at your job, where you have a certain limit of income. Because, if the math doesn't add up, then you're definitely not going to believe in it, and it's going to make it slower. If you're like, I only make $10 an hour, how am I going to realistically bring in $5,000 this week? So you want to stretch that with the tools, so this can be, as an example, we find a way to bring in more income streams. We find a way to generate passive income. If you want to work online, we can go through creating a course for you online if you don't have the hours. So we have strategic steps that we work with that can realistically bring in that money, but also expand your beliefs around manifesting, and also expand your money blueprint along with that. Okay, we sow what we want to reap. So, I for so long was just baffled by the fact that I would walk around all day long blessing people, silently blessing people, but yet I wasn't making money. Like, I'm a good person. Why am I not manifesting all this money? Well, the thing is that I was sowing love. I was giving love, and I was getting lots of love back, but I was wanting to give out love and manifest money. And so you are going to, you sow what you want to reap. If you want to manifest money, then you're going to want to be giving and circulating money instead of hoarding it. And sometimes we can get so into the lack thinking that we're hoarding money for future bills that might come up or future emergencies. And, there are times where we'll say, no, I can't afford that. I can't spend money here. But so we're kind of telling our mind that we don't have enough. And so these are things that you work with. If you want to you start circulating money, and then it comes back to you. And then you want to trust. After you've done these techniques, I always end it with releasing the desires and the visualizations back into the void or the nothingness. So it's a letting go. And then you just trust how it's going to come to you, because we don't have to, we can take steps, but we don't have to know exactly where it's coming from. And like I shared in my story, it would most of the time come from sources that I didn't even see. I had knowns, I had my job, I had my clients, I had my businesses, I had, affiliate marketing, I had all of these streams of income. And then when I would do these manifestation techniques and exercises, it would come from something completely different. And so it's kind of, you do all of this and then you let it go and you trust that it's going to come to you and you don't have to know exactly why. And most of the time I would be wrong about where it was going to come from. So I would get a call from somebody brand new that I had a proposal that was maybe out of what I normally would do, but they proposed, would you be able to do this? Would you do this for me? And I would pay you this much money. And it ended up being like exactly the amount that I was wanting to create. So trusting and letting go is a huge one, and to not have any expectations about how it's going to come to you and when it's even going to come to you. So I always end with letting it go and releasing it back into the void of where creation is birthed, where it begins. And so as I go through these techniques, you'll see how it can be really easy, it can be really fast, and it can be really effective. But I believe that the last step is one that many people will skip, and they'll be so holding on and expecting that will stop the flow. So everything that I've talked about is something that you can do and then let go of. You don't want to just do techniques and sit back and pray, but you don't want to just get into so much action that you're getting burnt out, or you're trying too hard, or you're too desperate. So you want to have a balance. And I always, with working with clients, I recommend with each step to really come into a still place of letting go. And meditation is really good for this, to just kind of release it. So I am going to go into the actual techniques now, and I'm considering doing a video to go more in depth in this. I go even more in depth with the coaching, the one-on-one coaching, and it's more customized, and we really work with it to where we can just even get it down to deepening it, but getting it faster and faster, and bringing these manifestations like just one after another. But for this one, I'm going to talk about first something that I have worked with for years, and I share it in my Pranic Upgrade course. And this is working with water. Again, I started using this technique for the purpose of healing, not for the purpose of manifesting. So in this, I'm going to talk about specifically manifesting money. And this is something from Dr. Emoto's studies on water, how you can take water and you can change it by your thoughts and your feelings, and you can charge water with intentions. And it's really simple, and it's something that people just are blown away by, because they may start out not believing in it, and once they work with it, they start feeling and seeing the results from it. You can do this with a cup of water. You can do this with a bottle of water. So you can hold it with two hands, and you can just have intentions to put into it. You can say affirmations, you can say mantras, and you can write on it. You can write money. You can write with a marker on the outside of the bottle. You can write the amount of money that you want to resonate with. You can play with this in different ways. I also was taught to set it outside during a full moon and let the moon charge it. That's another powerful way for bringing it to a very powerful, neutral, but magical state to be able to put intentions from there. So with this one, you can just hold a glass of water and you can say, I am love. Money is love. I love money. Money loves me. Money is magnetically attracted to me. I am highly attractive to money, and it's coming to me in large amounts right now. You can play with these. Again, I have a giveaway of money mindset affirmations. You can pick any of those that resonate with you. I like to use I love money and money loves me. Money is highly attracted to me and comes to me in large amounts, or I am drawing this certain amount of money to me right now. And you just hold it, and you can feel a lot of times tingling in your hands as the energy is really going into it. And then you can drink it, or you can bring it up to your forehead, the third eye area. You can just play with what feels right. Sometimes it'll, I want to hold it close to my heart as I'm saying it. And so play with this, but the simplest way is to just hold it and to really think about what you're wanting to draw in around money, and to feel what it would be like if you already had that, and really just let that go into the water, and then you'll drink it. If I recommend doing this before you go to sleep, so your subconscious mind can work on it all night. And then if you listen to money affirmations while you sleep, it's even more powerful. And so I believe one of the most powerful techniques I'm going to go into next, and you can do these in different orders, whatever you feel called to do. But this is getting your creative energy involved in manifestation. And the most powerful energy that we have is our sexual energy, our sexual desire. This is the energy of creation. We literally create little human beings by using this energy. And Napoleon Hill talked about using sexual energy and transmuting that energy. He didn't go into techniques from it, but it has been talked about throughout the years. It's one of the secrets of the wealthy that hasn't been shared, or I should say it wasn't shared exactly for a long time. So I'm going to give you the mini version, but you can go much deeper into this. And this was the technique that I was doing when I manifested literally thousands of dollars the next day. So what you want to do is you want to start sitting, and you're going to focus on your tailbone, or where you're seated, your root chakra. And you're just going to have the intention of moving energy, your sexual desire energy up. And we're going to move it up to the third eye. Now, generally when we say sexual energy, we think about the act of sex. And that is actually releasing that creative energy. We are going to work on cultivating that energy to use for manifestation, instead of just letting it drain out and drain our energy. And most of us have heard examples of, say, fighters or athletes abstaining from sex, before like a big fight or a big meet, because they perform better when they're not having sex. So they'll go through like a fast of not having sex for a while. And if they do end up having sex, then a lot of times their performance isn't as good. The reason for this is because this energy, when built up and held and used in productive ways, it can enhance our productivity in the same way that it enhances manifestation. if we just let it go out, and we just use it through fantasies and having sex, or using it to release, then we're actually draining our creative life force energy. So in this exercise, we are using it in a way that works for us. We're using it in a way that can activate our pineal gland, and we can literally manifest what we think about faster. And it can become normal for you with using this. It can become so second nature that it's more normal than struggling around money, because what you think of, you manifest right away. So I just wanted to mention that really quickly to just kind of understand the difference. And it really has to do with what we do with it, where our attention goes, and how we use it. So this is consciously manifesting. Okay, so the mini version of it is, again, you'll just kind of stay, you want to sit straight up. And I've done this 2 different ways. You can just draw energy from your root and bring it all the way up, and you'll lock your PC muscles, which are the muscles that if you have to go to the bathroom but you stop it, you're contracting those muscles. So you'll move the energy up into like below your belly button, the sacral area, and you'll lock the PC muscles like you're holding it when you have to go to the bathroom. And then when it moves up to the solar plexus, then you'll lock your sacral area. So you'll tighten the lower abs. So you'll keep the PC muscles locked, and then you'll tighten the lower abs. And then when it moves up to the heart, then you'll contract this below your rib cage, in the center of your rib cage, so like your upper abs. And you'll keep all 3 of those locked by just contracting them. And then you'll move the energy from the heart all the way up to here to activate your pineal gland and your third eye. And you'll do this, move it up until you'll feel it, or you'll see like a white light. And when you see that, then you just start thinking about what you want to manifest, the amount of money or the opportunity or the clients that you want to draw in, or whatever it is that you want to draw in and have by tomorrow. Then you want to start visualizing that, and then you'll just picture it. If it's an amount of money, you picture a check with that amount on it. If it is a person, then you'll visualize that person coming in to your life and handing you a contract or whatever it is. If it's a car, then you picture that car when you're moving this up. And then at the end of this, you'll just release it. You'll release the locks. And what I like to picture is like a void kind of coming up around to where it's just all black and neutral, and you just give it back. It's like the womb, the womb of the mother that you're just kind of seated in, and you let everything go, and you just let it. You let the desires, the visualizations, what you want, you let it go into that, and you just stay seated in that. And you'll feel that softening, and that peace. Now, there's a way to go much deeper and do this much faster. This is just a quick before you go to bed. You can do this every night, and then you release it. And then the other technique is you'll take something. Sorry, I had a coin. So you'll take something that represents what you want. So again, it could be a check that has the amount of money you want on it. I have a coin. If you have silver or gold coins, or if you want to even have like a little bar of gold, if you're wanting gold, whatever it is that represents that to you, you can have a physical object. And before you go to bed, you take that and you visualize it. You bring it up to your third eye and you visualize that. You visualize the amount of money that that check is, or you visualize gold coming to you, whatever it is that you're wanting. And then you really feel that. You can even take it to your heart and then up here and really feel it, see it, know it. Feel like you've already received it and feel what that feels like. How does your body react to that? Usually it'll sigh, or you'll feel relief, you'll feel free. You do that, and then you put whatever the object is, you put it under your pillow and you sleep on it, and you call that in that way. And again, before you go to sleep, you'll want to just release everything into the void, surrender it back, have no expectations about it. And you can also use this last one. You can use it by just having these objects that you see on a regular basis. You know, put it on your desk, have it on your bedside table. You know, put it under your table, like, so that you're always. It helps you visualize when you have these objects lying around and they're just already a part of your world. It can be beautiful jewelry, you know, anything that represents wealth coming to you. So these techniques, if you move through them every night and you really put everything into it, and then you release them, literally tomorrow you can see what you've wanted to manifest come to you. And I know this because I've done it multiple times, not just once, not just twice, multiple times. So this is consciously manifesting. You can manifest very quickly, and you can do it. You could do it every night. This is realistic that you can do this. And it's working with energy that is already inside of you. That is the most powerful energy for manifesting. We just haven't been taught this, and we've actually probably been discouraged from using it, and we've been taught to feel guilty and shame around it. But it is a powerful tool to use for your betterment, for your own personal freedom. And so I encourage you to use this. You can start with the creative energy flow, and then drink the water, and then, you know, putting your object under the pillow. Whatever way feels more natural to you, you can start with the water and have that activate the creative energy, and then bring it up. Whatever feels intuitively the best for you is what I would do. And I work with clients going much deeper into this. If you feel called to work with me, I have that link below, and I'm going to put the free affirmations as a free gift down below for money mindset. And reach out to me. I always share with my clients hypnosis and affirmation audios with them. So definitely reach out if you feel called to work with me. I would love to work with anybody that is ready to manifest your superpowers. Let's do it together. If you're new here, subscribe, click subscribe, and I hope that you have tons of stories to tell me tomorrow and with working with this.